Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I am Connor Christie, the market research analyst here at Bright MLS. I work with Dr. Lisa Sturdivant, the chief economist. Unfortunately, she couldn't make the presentation today, but I'm going to go forward with it. Before we get started, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and send them over to us. If there's anything I can't cover or we don't cover during the presentation today, I'm happy to pass those questions along to her and get back to you with the answers. So in the meantime, let's get started. So first we have the Philadelphia housing market here and a couple of big trends before we get into the presentation. There has been a slowdown in sales in the Philadelphia metro area, but the prices are still rising. Both buyers and sellers have kind of pulled out of the market. Usually it is a little slower around the holiday times, but some of those numbers have really been exaggerated this year due to a couple of different items, which we'll go over in the presentations. But some of that is just stemming from tough comparables and macroeconomic trends versus last year. So as we go forward, here we have the Philadelphia closed sales for the month of November. You'll see that sales were down about 33% from last November. There was about 5,200 sales during the month. And a lot of the counties are seeing similar trends in terms of sales down versus last year. And you've kind of seen the same trend since kind of the middle of this year, that the sales kind of are falling off in accordance with the 10-year note rising and mortgage rates rising as well. Moving to the median sales price, the median sales price in the Philadelphia region has been a little more resilient than other areas within the Bright footprint and the Mid-Atlantic in general. You'll see that the prices rose about 6.5% this month and rising to about $330,000 for the month of November. Most of the areas are seeing decent gains versus last year. One that stood out really was that Philadelphia metro area, which was actually down 2% from last November, which is pretty interesting to look at. Condominiums throughout the metro area rose 12% from last year. So it does seem like maybe some buyers that are a little more price sensitive might be looking towards those condominiums throughout the metro area. Median sales prices for townhomes and single family homes did rise as well, but they were closer to that 6.5% level, coming in at 7%. Moving to inventory, you'll see that inventory has been rising really since the middle of the summer throughout the whole metro area. You're really seeing that most counties are seeing double-digit gains in inventory. They're actually at the highest inventory level since September of 2019 or 2021, sorry, in terms of total inventory for the metro area. The inventory level this month came in at about 11,000 available units at the end of the month, which the inventory is picking up. Some of that is sellers are kind of holding back from the market to see where the market might be going. You are seeing a lot of purchasers kind of pausing as well, just with rates kind of fluctuating and a lot of macroeconomic kind of trends as well that you've seen for the past couple months too. And then you factor in those seasonal changes around the holiday season. So it's really kind of a culminating effect of why the market is really slowing down a lot quicker than it has in years past at the end of the year. Moving towards new pending sales, here you see that the new pending sales did see a decline of about 35.5% from last year. Pretty universal throughout the metro area. And really this shows, similar to the closed sales number, that people really are kind of taking a wait and see approach to the market and really seeing where it's going maybe the first quarter of next year. They're really not jumping in as much as they were earlier this year or even last year. So it does seem like there's really a figuring out time within the market. And that really comes, and then that's really where the realtors come into play, and you could really educate your clients and customers on kind of all their different options when it comes to either buying or listing, or kind of the perfect time to list for them. The new pending sales for townhomes really stood out during the month. Pending sales for townhomes fell about 40% from last November, which was the most out of the property types throughout the metro area. Then we have the days on market. So as you can see, the days on market, there has been kind of a little bit of an ebb and flow over the past couple years, and that kind of points to those seasonal trends. However, you're seeing that days on market really kind of peaking up from where it was earlier this year. As homes are sitting on the market longer, you're obviously not seeing kind of those pre-pandemic days on market numbers, but a lot of that has to do with the inventory still being rather low, so that it's not rising as rapidly as it was back then. As you can kind of see on the mini map there as well, a couple of the counties are approaching almost 3 weeks worth of days on market, and really Philadelphia is seeing a pretty big jump in terms of median days on market, as kind of the city is kind of figuring out where the market's heading in 2023. And then finally, we have the Philadelphia metro. The average sold to original list price, and for the metro area, it came in at 98%. Average sold to the original list price. And that's pretty universal throughout the whole metro area for each county. Some of the counties have kind of taken a little bit more of a hit, and kind of based on what we were seeing before in terms of new pending and closed sales, and even the median sales price figure, you're kind of pointing back to Philadelphia County. They're not seeing as much price value there, as kind of people are really adjusting to this new market into the fall. So that's kind of just the overarching metrics for the metro area. Moving forward, I'm going to show you a little about our Bright 2023 forecast on where we think sales are going to be, and where we're also going to think median sales price might be going into 2023. So the outlook going forward, just a couple key points, and these kind of go back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, that the Philadelphia housing market is, at least for now, being a lot more resilient than especially Baltimore and DC, and a lot of the other areas throughout the country as a whole. So it's not all doom and gloom that you might hear about on the news in the Philadelphia market. And really, over the last 3 years, home prices have risen rather quickly in the Philadelphia metro, but relative to some of the other areas in the mid-Atlantic, it is a little more of a more affordable market than some other areas, which is kind of stalling off some of those declines that you're really seeing, especially like in the DC market. We are thinking that mortgage rates may come down into 2023, but really kind of stay around that 6% level. So it will be interesting to see where buyers come into the market and pull out of the market. There might be some volatility to that activity in 2023 as mortgage rates continue to fluctuate. So here we have the home sales numbers for the past couple years, and also our forecast for going into 2023. We're seeing about maybe a 2% decline in terms of sales in the Philadelphia metro versus 2022. This would be the lowest number since 2015, but though it is falling versus last year, you'll see that it's not falling too quickly compared to the rest of the country in general, and just the mid-Atlantic area too. So it's, as I said, it's a little more resilient than some of the other markets. A couple reasons for the sales maybe slowing down is kind of tied to those rate increases, And also on the seller side, if they purchased recently, or maybe they refinanced while rates were lower, they might not be looking to potentially sell and then have to take on a mortgage that might be double what their rate is currently. So there's some of those factors playing into a little bit of the market slowdown in the Philadelphia area. Then moving to house prices, we are expecting home prices to remain around flat in the Philadelphia metro area. They have been rising rather quickly, like I'd mentioned before, the past couple years, which is nice for homeowners, not as great for purchasers. But as we kind of move forward into 2023, a slight rise or flat in terms of price increases. Philadelphia County, we are thinking that there might be a little more risk for price declines than the rest of the metro area, and kind of foreseen in some of those numbers we're seeing in Philadelphia County in terms of new pending sales and closed sales to wrap up 2022 is why this might be happening. But just like a heads up here, you are seeing, though, that the prices might be flat in 2023, they're not necessarily falling off of a cliff, and really not going to be in too bad of a shape. It might help buyers a little kind of explore more options. But as a seller, you're still getting, even if prices decline 10% in 2023, you're still getting a price that's roughly about what it was in 2021. So you're still getting a pretty good value for your home. It's obviously not going to be the number that it was at the peak of the market, but you're still getting a decent rate of return based on like a 5-year trend there. So it's definitely good for you guys. That is pretty much everything I have for you guys today. If there's any questions, I don't know if I saw any in the chat, but I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have, or feel free to email myself or Lisa with any questions or data requests or anything of that nature. We're happy to assist you and kind of talk you through different aspects of the market. I do see one question did come in here. I'll get to that just in one quick second. And then as for these webinars moving into 2023, we are still going to continue the webinar series. We are working some of the tweaks out on the scheduling, but just look out for emails about the schedule for 2023 moving into the future. And then finally, all of this stuff is on our website as well. There's all the different reports, whether it's the weekly reports, the monthly reports, these forecasts, and then commentaries on where the market is as well. So feel free to check those out. And if you have questions about those, we're happy to answer any questions there as well. So let me get to some of these questions from the presentation. So in terms of the rental market, we don't have a lot of data on the rental market per se in our system. I'm happy to do a little digging, and I can take down your name, and maybe we can connect after this to see if you're looking just for the rental market within the Philadelphia metro area in general, or if there's any area in particular you'd like to look into. So I'm happy to work with you on that and kind of see what you're after. So maybe we can connect after this call. So if that's all of the questions for now, this webinar will be up in, okay. This webinar will be up online later today or tomorrow, and then I am happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. That's all we have for today. And Elizabeth, I will get back with you about the rentals in Philadelphia County. Thank you guys all for joining us, and have a great holiday season. Take care. Bye.
Hey, Connor, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Hey, good. Can you